Hi everyone! In this video, we're going to cover the listening strategy and question types. In the previous video, we saw an overview of the listening section, and here we're going to learn all the strategy you need and the question types that you need to learn for the listening section as a whole. There are only two videos covering the listening section. As you may remember, I have told you in the reading section, in the videos for the reading section, the only section that requires you to study a lot or to learn a lot of question types and a lot of strategy is the reading section. That's why we devoted a lot of videos to those. From then on, the listening section is only going to require two videos, and I'm also only devoting two videos for the speaking section and two videos for the writing section. And that's it. That doesn't mean that you don't have to practice a lot, okay? That means that the only strategy that you need is covered here, but from here on, what you have to do is practice and practice a lot. Okay. And I mean, you also have to practice in the reading section, but you don't have to practice as much in the other sections. Okay. The general strategy for the listening section. Remember, we want to take notes while listening. We do not want to memorize. Okay, this is very important. As you may remember from the previous video, even if you can memorize, even if you have a prodigious memory, do not do it. Okay, you want to rely on your notes. Do not rely on your memory. Even if you have a photographic memory, or in this case, an auditory perfect memory, you do not rely on memory. Okay, this is for two reasons. One, because memory is really not that good. Okay, you may remember incorrect things, you may add your own information, and you may overall get a wrong answer just because of that. And the second thing, because even if you do get everything right, you will get tired. I mean, you're tiring your brain, you're using your brain for tasks that it shouldn't be performing. So you're getting tired. And remember, this is a 4-section exam. You definitely don't want to get tired to the next section. Okay, next, remember, read and listen to the question. You will be able to read the question and also listen to it. Basically, this is just for you to pay attention to the question. So all your attention is there when you're listening to the question, when you're performing each specific question. Look for keywords. Remember the strategy for note taking. Remember, we don't write full sentences. We don't write all the words. So we focus on the keywords. We're going to look for the keywords in our notes. We're going to go to the specific part of your notes. Again, this is the keywords. We look for the keywords in the notes. We don't look for all the notes, just for the keywords that they redirect us from the question. And finally, we're going to use process of elimination. We probably won't use process of elimination for the whole for all the questions. It's just that in case we don't find the answer directly in our questions, in our notes, we're going to go and eliminate the wrong alternatives. Okay. So following the first step, take notes. How to take notes depending on the audio types. There are only two types of audio, conversation and lecture. Conversation will always be between a male and a female. So you want to take notes in the following way. You want to separate what the male says from what the female says, and you want to copy the the things that each of them said in a column, in a different column. So you separate by columns. You're going to copy the reasons that they give separate in each column. Okay, so you do not want to mix columns. Okay, this is very important. It's also important that it's always a male and it's always a female, which means they will have very distinctive voices, so you don't get confused as to who said what. They made this on purpose so you don't get confused, or also you don't then complain about listening to the incorrect voice. The second audio type is a lecture, in which there's a professor, either male or female, and they're going to explain a certain topic. So maybe biology or chemistry or physics or geography or art. And what you want to do, you want to copy the main points. Again, remember keywords, don't write full sentences. And they may provide a list. For example, they're going to say something like, there are 3 theories explaining the origin of species. So they're going to say theory 1, theory 2, and theory 3. The important thing here is that the professor may not say theory 1, theory 2, theory 3. The professor may say something like, okay, the first one is this, the next one, and finally we have something else. Okay, so be very attentive to the words that they use that are not necessarily 1, 2, and 3. Okay, how we read and listen to the question. Basically, remember, in each question, you will be able to read the question on the screen. They will also say the question out loud, but only once, and then you just have to go and perform. The third, take question types, specific question types. According to the official page, the ETS, the provider of the TOEFL, there are 7 question types: GIS, detail, function, attitude, organization, connecting, contact, and inference. I actually consider these questions to be reduced to just 3 question types: factual, inference, and purpose. You can see this from the reading question types in the reading videos. So basically, a GIS content is a factual question, detail is a factual, function is a purpose, attitude is a purpose, organization is factual, connecting is an inference, and inference, of course, is an inference. Now, you can go to the specific video in the reading section lectures, but you can also get this like very quickly, that the factual question is made out of facts, which means the answer is always, so the answer is in the audio. In this case, it has to be in your notes. So basically, a person is going to say the sky is blue, and the question is going to be, what color did the professor say the sky was? And you're going to mark blue, and your notes have to say the sky is blue. The next one is an inference question, in which you get new information from the information in the audio or from your notes. Again, the question won't ask, like, the professor won't say the sky is blue, and the question won't ask what color is the sky, but the professor is going to say the sky is definitely not yellow. So you're gonna be left to what color does the professor not believe that the sky is, or another question that may draw in information from the audio, but it's not exactly in the audio. And finally, the purpose question, which is not the content, is about the structure of the audio. Remember, these are the same question types as in the reading section, which means it's not like what did the author said, or sorry, what the professor said, but about why. Why did the professor say this? Why did the student say this? Okay, so it's not about what, it's not about the content, it's about the structure, the reasons. Okay, we're gonna look for keywords. Remember, we do this in the taking of notes. So we don't write full sentences. We write the important words. We're gonna focus on numbers, dates, nouns, basically names of all sorts. Okay, remember, we're gonna go then to the specific part of your notes. Remember, your notes should aim to have all the information that's provided. Okay, like, yes, we're not writing full sentences, but we are definitely aiming for writing as much as we can, as all the information. And finally, using process of elimination. Again, I'm gonna make one full video just for process of elimination, because this is used in the reading and in the listening sections. You also have kind of an explanation of this in the previous video, and definitely in the reading section videos. But just to be quick, process of elimination means eliminating the alternatives, trying to actively find a mistake in them, so we know that they are not the correct answer. So common mistakes that appear in alternatives are having the wrong word. So maybe the professor say the sky is blue, and the alternative say the sky is purple, so it's not the correct word. Blue is not the same as purple. Or maybe the professor say the sky is blue, and the alternative says the ocean is blue. Okay, so it's not the correct word. Like, it's not the sky, it's the ocean. Maybe having an extreme word. Maybe the professor says most people drink bottled water, and the alternative say all people drink bottled water. That's not true. This is not an extreme. Then being out of scope, meaning it is not there. If they're not talking about them, then maybe the lecture is about the sky is blue, the ocean is blue, and the alternative is talking about animals. So they never talk about animals, it's just out of scope. In this case, would be not in the audio, not even mentioned. Another thing that could be true, but not my answer. In this case, the information in the alternative is in the text. Like, in this case, will be in your notes. So the sky is blue, the alternative will be the sky is blue. But maybe the question is not what color is the sky. Maybe the question is, when are they going to the ballroom? Okay, so that is not the answer. Yes, it's true information. It is definitely in the audio, but it's not right. Okay, we're gonna practice. We're gonna listen to the first audio type. We're gonna listen to a conversation. I'm gonna play a YouTube video. I'm gonna put in the links in the description of this video. Okay. So what I want you to do, I want you to have a pen and paper so you can take notes. So your notes for the first audio, the first audio is the conversation, are going to look something like this. Are going to look you're going to have a student talking and a professor talking, and you're going to write what each of them says right here. Okay, I'm going to play it right now.
Hi, Professor. You got a minute?
Sure, Christy. Did you pick up your paper yet? I just finished grading them and I was really impressed with yours.
Really?
Of course, I loved your arguments. And what you wrote about farming for less than $10 a day, it really has incredible real-world applications. I can tell you put a lot of thought into this paper.
Speaking of real-world applications, that's sort of what I wanted to talk to you about, the student exchange program.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Are you thinking of going somewhere? That's a great program.
Well, I have a couple of places in mind, but I really have my heart set on Guatemala.
What draws you to Guatemala?
I think Guatemala would be the most relevant place for me. It would be perfect to go there so I can do some research about my ideas.
I can see where you're coming from, Christy. I think you have some good reasons. I hate to tell you this, but the exchange program in Guatemala is only for Spanish majors, and the Spanish department is usually pretty strict about that.
No, there has to be some way I can go. I've already done so much research about it. Guatemala is perfect for my research. It has the exact type of agricultural practices, economy, and environmental conditions I want to study and explore.
You make a fair argument, but have you thought of other places? I really wouldn't want you to get your hopes up since it's a program run by the Spanish department, and I can't remember the last time a student was able to go who wasn't a Spanish major.
That doesn't seem fair. Is there nothing I can do? They must have let someone go before who isn't a Spanish major, right? I mean, I know some Spanish, if that's any consolation.
Look, I want you to have the opportunity to go, and I agree that it could be an ideal place for your research. Since you are very passionate about going, I'll talk to the person in charge of the situation and see if they can find a way to accommodate you.
Really, Professor? Thank you, thank you. That means so much to me.
I think you should prepare a solid argument to present to the Spanish department just in case. Can you do that?
Of course, absolutely. I'll do anything. I'll be ready.
Okay, I'm glad to hear it. Let me talk to the department and I will let you know if anything changes, okay?
Okay, thanks, Professor.
Okay, so that was the audio. Now I'm gonna show you what my notes look like. Now your notes don't have to look exactly like mine. They're just going to be a guide. Okay, so these are my notes. This is what the student says, and this is what the professor said. It's not, you don't have to write the student professor, as I told you. You can just write the, like, this is a female and this is a male voice. Another thing I didn't put here, we're gonna try to put extra information. Remember, we're gonna have time to kind of put our ideas in order. So with, as soon as we see each question, we're gonna go and look for the for our notes. So this is what they say first. This is what she really wants to do. These are the reasons. Okay, like these are the reasons. This is his question. This says good reason. This is the problem. And basically these are what she says after he tells us that they're a problem. You notice, like, this is something I couldn't do in advance, but as you notice, there's a relationship between each column. Okay, now both columns are separate. Okay, like they're separated, and it's different. Like what she said is different from what he said, but definitely there's a conversation. So what she says or what the student says is actually a response to what the professor said, and vice versa. So you have to be very careful about signaling that. So this goes from here to here, and then he goes from here to here, and actually being ready and thank you is actually kind of an answer to this. We talk, and then she says, thank you, I will be ready. Okay, now we're going to go and see the questions, question by question. So the first question, why does the student see the professor? So I want you to look at this question, and I'm going to give you 30 seconds. You can look at your notes. Okay, we first see the question, then we look for the keyword, why the student goes see the professor. Remember, not why the professor started talking with her, like what is her motivation. So we're going to go for the keywords, and I want you to go to your notes and give you 30 seconds to answer this question. Okay, so I hope you have an answer. So we go to the notes, and if you have all your notes, you may get the answer just right away from the notes. Okay, we go to the notes and see. If we don't, we're gonna use PO. We're gonna use process of elimination. We're gonna eliminate the wrong ones. So we're gonna go question by question. So what? To talk about her paper on farming practices. So we go to our notes on who is talking about the paper on farming practices. Oh, it's actually the professor who's talking about the paper. It's not her. It's not kind of something that she has said. So it's definitely not the reason why she went to the professor. And if you remember, the professor started talking about that before she even said what she wanted to talk about. Okay, so it's not this one. B, to ask if she can study abroad in Guatemala. Definitely Guatemala. She definitely wants to go to study, student exchange program in Guatemala. C, to discuss her research on agricultural practice and environmental conditions. Again, she doesn't want to discuss, and the agricultural practice and environmental conditions are here. Okay, and they're only here as an example of what she has done from Guatemala. And finally, D, to see if she can become a Spanish major. The only case in which she mentions Spanish is to say that she knows some Spanish, okay? And the other mention to being a Spanish major is from the professor. The professor is saying only Spanish major, so she never mentions that. So it's not that here. So it is B. B is the answer to ask if she can study abroad in Guatemala. Again, you don't have to do process of elimination. You may get this answer just from the notes, but in case, that's how you perform process of elimination. Okay, we're gonna go to question number 2. Why does Christy want to go to Guatemala? So again, we have the question. We're gonna go to our notes. In this case, remember you have to select 2. Remember in the listening section, you may get questions with more than one answer, and they will always kind of make it clear that you may provide more than one answer. Actually, that you have to provide more than one answer. So why does she want to go to Guatemala? I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to look for the answer. Okay, go. Okay, hope you have an answer. We're gonna go and see how we solve it. Remember, this is why she wants to go to Guatemala. So we go to our notes, and I'm gonna erase this so it's clearer. So we go to Guatemala, and the reasons are stated right here, right? So we have Guatemala, and here are the reasons, okay? Like these are the reasons. So you can just go. So we have more relevant research idea. She has done so much research, agricultural practice, economic and environmental conditions. So we go here. And we have why does she want to go to Guatemala, and then we look for the answers. Again, if you kind of already have the answers, that's it. That's good. You can just perform straight from the notes to the answer. If not, we're gonna use process of elimination. So we go to continue her research on cost-effective farming. Again, she does not mention cost-effective farming. The one who mentions cost-effective farming is the professor, not her. B, because she has already studied about it and wants to learn more in person. Yes, she definitely mentions that. C, the agricultural and economic landscape closely matches what she wants to research. Yes, she definitely mentions that. And D, she wants to learn more Spanish. The only case in which she mentioned the Spanish was to say that she knows some Spanish. She never says that she wants to learn some Spanish, so it's not that one. So it would be B and C. Okay, we're gonna go question number 3. Why might Christy not be able to go on the trip to Guatemala? Again, I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to answer this question. Okay, go. Okay, hope you have an answer. We're gonna just check again why she might not be able to go to Guatemala. Again, that is not something that she said, that's something that the professor said. So she said, okay, it's a great program, you have a great reason, But then you have, okay, but only Spanish majors go, they're very strict and they run, so don't get your hopes high. Okay, so the professor is giving the reasons why she might not be able to go to Guatemala. Again, it's not that she's definitely not going, it's that it's very difficult for her to go. So we're gonna, if you have the answer, it's okay, you go straight to the answer. If not, we're gonna use process of elimination, again, eliminating one by one. So she's not a linguistic major. So, okay, yes, she's not a linguistic major. The Spanish department is in charge of this program. Yes, it is. She does not speak in Spanish. They never talk about Spanish. There are no more spots left in the program. They never talk about more spots. Now, between A and B, what is really the problem? Because if you see the notes, if you see your own notes, okay, it's like the reasons is that she's not only Spanish majors go, is very strict and is run by the Spanish department. Okay, and then he says that the professor says that he will talk to the Spanish department. So what is the problem? So either problem is that her major or who runs the program. So if the problem were who ran the program, though, so even though the professor would speak to the Spanish department, they would still not let her go. So the problem is not the fact that she's not, that the Spanish department is in charge. The problem is her, the fact that she's not a Spanish major. So it will be A. We're going to go to question number 4. Why does the professor decide to help her, decides to help Christy? And you're going to select 2. Okay, I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Go. Okay, hope you have an answer. If you have an answer, so why does the professor decide to help Christy? We're going to go to the keyword, so helping, in which case he's going to help her. We're going to go to the text. Okay, so she says, okay, great program. So she says first that he first says that it's thought. And then great program, good reason, fair argument, agree ideal, you're passionate, and will talk. So he finally decides to talk for all the reasons here. If you already found the answer, that's good. You go and check the answer. If not, we're going to check with the poem. So Christy is one of the most intelligent students in class. Okay, maybe true, but definitely nobody talk about being the most intelligent student. The professor agrees that Guatemala is a good place to do more research. Yes, he agrees. The professor literally says agree. Agree is ideal, like he will have it. Again, we don't have to have the full sentence. Yes, I agree, it's an ideal place. It's just agree and ideal. We just mark the specific keywords. Okay, so yes, it's agree. Christy is extremely motivated to study abroad. How do we know whether she's extremely motivated? Because the professor says, oh, you're passionate about it. Every time somebody is describing someone else, try to copy it, because that's how that's what one person thinks about the other person. So yes, definitely she's passionate about it, so she's extremely motivated. Okay, and D, Christy knows some Spanish, which is correct. So it will be to convince the Spanish department. So yes, she knows some Spanish. Okay, now, but who said that? The Christy, like the student, is the one who said it. She said, oh, I know some Spanish. The professor never said, okay, since you know some Spanish, I will talk, or it will be easy to talk to the Spanish department. What the professor says is, okay, I agree it's ideal and you're passionate, therefore I will talk. Okay, so yes, the Spanish is there. Like, yes, there's a mention to Spanish in the audio, but it's not giving us a reason. And this is what I meant with true but not my answer. It is true, it is said, but it's definitely not the answer to the specific question. So in this case, the answer will be B and C. Okay, we're going to go to the last question, number 5, the last question for this audio. Why does the professor ask Christy if she has thought of other places to go? Again, go to your notes and you're going to have 30 seconds. Go. Okay, hope you have an answer. We're going to check anyway. So why does the professor ask if she had thought of other places to go? So we're going to go to our notes. Remember, it's about other places to go. So why does she talk up, or I mean, I actually don't have it in my notes, like I don't have the other places to go. Okay, but he's definitely trying to convince her of that it's not a good idea, or that it's tough, right? So it's tough. Only Spanish majors go. It's a fair argument. I don't want you get your hopes high. It's run by the Spanish department. So why? And this is an inference question, right? He never says, "Oh, I'm asking you this because of this reason." So why will the professor be asking her if she had thought of other places to go? We're going to pose this question. So we have, he wants to know if there are any other countries Christy wants to travel to. Yes, he definitely wants to know if there are other countries, but wants to travel to is not that she wants to travel to, okay? It's not like, yes, I want to know if there are any other countries that I want to travel to. It's just that, according to the notes onto the audio, it's not just that he's curious, it's that he actually has an idea in mind. So we have to be, we're going to go to be. He does not think Christy will be allowed to go to Guatemala. Yes, that is true, because he definitely says this is thought and not only tough and only Spanish majors go. He's leading up to suggesting a better place. This would be, okay, the problem with this, and this is an important thing about suggestions, if he were going to suggest a better place, he would do so. So if in the notes or in the audio we had a mention to the other suggested place, like if the professor had said something like, why don't you go to Puerto Rico instead? Okay, then it could be then it could be an inference. Okay, but here you cannot we cannot say that he's about to suggest something and then he doesn't suggest it. Okay, and then he's curious if Christy can do her research in another countries. Not about curiosity. Again, maybe he's a little bit curious, but definitely that's not the main reason. The main reason is that he does not think that Christy will be allowed. Like the professor is through all of the conversations saying things like, okay, but this is tough, and only Spanish majors go, and this is very strict, so don't get your hopes high. Again, it's going to match the audio. Again, this is an inference question. The answer is not provided there literally in the audio, but it's going to come from the audio. Okay, now we're going to go to the second question type, the lecture, okay? In this case, we are going to listen to a professor talk about 4 different theories in an astronomy class. Okay, you have these 4 theories. You can see this in the screen, and then you're going to have to take notes, okay? I'm going to leave the screen here before I play the audio. Remember, take notes. Write as much as you can with as little, with as fewer words as you can, okay? We're going to play it now. Go. Okay. Oh, sorry. My audio is not, okay. Give me a second. Okay, I'm going to go play now.
So, I would like to continue our discussion about the moon, more particularly about the origins of the moon and how it was actually created. We talked about 3 possible solutions, more like theories, about how the moon was created. Can anyone tell me the name of one of these theories? Sarah.
Well, I do remember the capture theory, which proposes that the moon was located somewhere else in the galaxy until eventually it was kind of like captured by the Earth's gravitational pull.
Yes, and I'm glad you started with the capture theory because it's the easiest one to reject. Its primary drawback is that no one knows of any way that Earth could have captured such a large moon from elsewhere. One body approaching another cannot go into orbit around it without a serious loss of energy. Furthermore, if such a capture did take place, the captured object would go into a very strange orbit, rather than the nearly circular orbit our moon goes through today. Finally, there are too many similarities in composition between Earth and the moon. It's much more likely that the Earth and the moon were somehow connected at one point in the past. What was another theory discussed? James?
The fission theory. Like you said, the moon was once a part of the Earth, but somehow separated from it early in their history. But I remember you mentioned some problems with this theory too.
Yes, the fission theory suggests that the moon separated from the Earth, but modern calculations have shown that this type of splitting is nearly impossible. Furthermore, it is difficult to understand how a moon made out of materials from the Earth could have developed so many chemical differences from our own. And the third? James again?
Yeah, the last one is the sister theory. It claims that the moon formed together with the Earth, but also remained independent from it. This is why many astronomers once believed of other moons in the solar system too.
Yes, the sister theory was the dominant idea accepted by most astronomers in the past. But like the capture and fission theory, it had some problems, particularly when trying to explain how it could have such a lower density when compared to the Earth. Now, in an effort to resolve these apparent contradictions, scientists developed a fourth hypothesis for the origin of the moon, one that involves a giant impact early in Earth's history. This idea, known as the giant impact hypothesis, proposes that Earth was struck by an object approximately 1/10 Earth's mass, which is about the size of Mars. This is very nearly the largest impact Earth could experience without being shattered. Now, such an impact would disrupt much of Earth and eject a vast amount of material into space, releasing almost enough energy to break the planet apart. Computer simulations indicate that material totaling several percent of Earth's mass could be ejected in such an impact. Most of this material would be from the stony mantles of Earth and the impacting body, not from their metal cores. This ejected rock would then cool and form a ring of material orbiting Earth. It was this ring that ultimately came together and formed the moon. While we do not have any current way of showing that the giant impact hypothesis is the correct model of the moon's origin, it does offer potential solutions to most of the major problems raised by the chemistry of the moon. Most importantly, since the moon's raw material is from the deep rocks of Earth and the asteroid that hit it, the composition and chemistry of the moon is better understood and explained.
Okay.
Wow.
We're going to check the questions now. First we're going to check the notes. Again, you don't have to have your notes exactly like mine. These are just a guide. So here we have the theories. I usually don't actually copy my notes like this. Usually my notes look more something like this, like this, and then go here and then go there. Like I'm a bit more messy. So it's not like you have to be really super neat and orderly when you take notes. Okay, this is just so you can actually read what I write. But it's okay if your notes are a little bit messy. Okay, as long as you understand them, that's enough. Okay, remember, only you have to understand them. No one else. No one is just going to check your notes. So I have the title, Moon Origins. I have the 3 theories, 1, 2, 3. And actually there's a 4th theory because the whole thing is about the 4th theory. And then I have a description of the theory. And I have all descriptions of the theory. And what's wrong, like I mark with an X, what is wrong with all these theories, okay? And now we're going to go to the question types. So we're going to go the first question. What is the professor mainly discussing? Again, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to perform. Go. Okay, so what is the professor mainly discussing? Again, this should be a straightforward answer. You should get the answer just from reading this. We're still gonna try to poet. Okay, so how the moon formed after a giant object impacted the Earth. So what is wrong with one is not, first of all, is not how the moon formed after a giant object impacted the Earth. That's just one of the theories. Is not the main idea. Okay, the main idea is something else. B, the composition of the moon in comparison to Earth. Again, this is just one part. Like the composition of the moon is just one part. It's not a big idea, but it's definitely mentioned there, so it's true, but not my answer. C, problem with theories about the origin of the moon. Yes, we have theories, and yes, we definitely have problem. Actually, here too, there's a problem too. So yes, definitely about problems. Okay, this could be my answer. And D, whether or not the moon was connected to the Earth at one point. Again, this is mentioned, but it's not the whole idea for the audio, for the lecture. Okay, so the answer will be C, because this is the only one is actually going through the whole audio. Again, it's not that the other ones do not appear, it's not that they don't exist in the notes, it's just that they are not what it's mainly being discussed here. Okay, we're gonna go to question number 2. How is the lecture organized? This is the structure, so it's definitely like purpose. So how is the lecture organized? I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. Go. Okay, time's up. Hope you have an answer. So if you don't, you can still go to the notes. So these are your notes: 3 theories. First theory, what it is, what is not, why it's wrong with it. Second theory, what it is, what is wrong with it. Third theory, what it is, what is wrong with it. Fourth theory, and that's it. Okay, so how is the lecture organized? Just from doing there, like from doing that, from reading the notes, you can get it, but still going to see. So the professor discusses information previously learned before introducing a new idea. How do we know that this information is previously learned? Because if you notice, all the first 3 theories are mentioned by students, not by the professor. The professor is not explaining those 3 theories. It's different students who are explaining this. So this may be. P. The professor introduces an experiment and some possible problems with it. They never mention anything about an experiment, so that's not it. C. The professor compares theories about the moon with other objects in space. Yes, there are theories about the moon, but it's definitely not about other objects in space. And D. The professor gives a historical account of the theories of the origin of the moon. It's not a historical account. Yes, it's an account, but it's not historical. We never know which theory came first, okay? And this is very important. If they did not mention that it is historical, or this one first and this one was second, we do not assume that they are ordering in like by date. They could as well just be, this could be from the 900s and this could be from the 700s, but this could be from 2000. I mean, it's not, but it could be, because there's no information about that. So answer will be letter A. I'm going to go and see question 3. What are some problems with the capture theory? We're going to select 2. Again, give you 30 seconds to go. Go. Okay, so hope you have an answer. One problems with the capture theory, so we go to our notes. Actually, let me erase this. We are just going to go to the capture theory. So we go capture theory. What does it say? So problems. No one knows how do it without loss of energy. Strange order rather than circular, and too many similar compositions, and more connected in the past. Again, I don't have full sentences, but I don't need full sentences, and I'm looking for 2 answers. Okay, so we're gonna go here. So A, there are too many chemical differences between Earth and the Moon. Not about differences, it's about similarities, so it's not. B, it is more plausible that Earth and Moon were never connected. It is definitely more possible. We're going to leave it there. We don't know yet. C, during entry into the solar system, the Moon would have had too much energy. Yes, it talks about energy. And D, the Moon would have a strange orbital path if it were captured. Yes, instead of the circular one. Sorry. Yes, instead of the circular, almost circular one. So it's C and D now. Why is wrong with B? It's more possible that the Earth and Moon were never connected. That this is an inference. I mean, yes, it is plausible. Definitely is plausible. It's more plausible. But that is not mentioned as part of the problems. Okay. So even if it's more plausible, that's it. Not mentioned as a possibility. Okay. We're doing here. We're gonna go question 4. Which theory about the moon is most likely true? Again, you can get it just from reading the notes. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Go. Okay. So which one is most likely to be true? Again, you can just go ahead and see the notes. Now, how do we do it? Remember, in all the theories, we have, well, not in all of them, not in the one that is more likely to be true. We have theory, explanation, and then what is wrong. And the only one in which we are, or the professor did not mention what is wrong with it, is in the last one. So what is wrong, what is wrong, what is wrong. But here in the giant impact, there is no mention to what is wrong, so it's most likely to be true. Okay. Oh yes, sorry. It does say that there is no way of showing but potentials to chemical to potential solutions to the chemical differences, but it's definitely more likely to be true. Okay. So we're going to go, and it's going to be the giant impact hypothesis. Okay, we're going to go to number 5. What does the professor imply about the sister theory? Gonna give you 30 seconds. Go. Okay, hope you have an answer. So we're gonna go to the sister theory. So what does the professor imply about the sister theory? This is a very tricky question because it is an inference. Like, what does the professor imply about the sister theory? We have here the sister theory. So formed together but independent, believe the same of other moons. It was dominant in the past, but it's wrong because lower density. The moon has lower density compared to Earth. So we're gonna go. Okay. What is the professor implying? So modern astronomers do not believe this theory is correct. Okay, yes, because it was believed in the past. It explains why the moon is made out of the same materials. No, and it's actually that is a mistake. Like that is actually a problem with the theory. The density of the moon compared to the Earth proves it's true. Actually, it proves it wrong. So it's not true, it's wrong. It was less popular than the capture and fissure theory. We don't really know too much about that, but we do know that it was kind of the dominant in the past, right? I mean, again, with the mention of the past, we don't know exactly, but if it says dominant, it's definitely more popular or more likely to be true than the other two. So even in this case, I wouldn't say that is completely opposite. I would say that is we don't have that information, and the only information that we have will actually lead to the other case. And remember, this is an implication. So yes, it's actually more popular. I mean, sorry, it's not more popular, but the inference would be that it's more popular. So we have modern astronomers do not believe this is correct. Now, an idea that some of you may have is like, yes, but this is true for all of the other theories. Modern astronomers also do not believe that the other two theories are correct, which is true. And that doesn't make this wrong, okay? So this is true of the first three theories, of all of them. So just because it's true of the other ones doesn't mean it's going to stop being true about this one. So be very careful about that possible mistake. Okay, we're going to go to the last question, the sixth question. Why is the giant impact hypothesis also problematic? Again, they do mention some problems. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Go. Okay, hope you have an answer. We're still going to go to the notes. So giant impact hypothesis problematic. We're going to go to the giant impact hypothesis. And the problems that are marked with an X, we have no way of showing but potential solutions, and composition on the moon better understood. Actually, this is not a problem. This is the problem, right? So no way of showing that is true. So what is the problem then? So we're going to go check. Okay, A. The impact likely would have caused the Earth to break apart into many pieces. Not really. They never talk about that. The moon is too small. They never talk about being too small. There is more proof that the sister theory is correct. Definitely not more proof that the sister theory is correct. And finally, there is no way to prove it correct. Yes, this is the answer. And this is actually what is provided here when it says that there's no way of showing this, like no way of showing that this is true. Okay, that will be it for this. I mean, this is not the whole section, but that's it for the types of audios that you may encounter. My advice for you is to keep practicing. Okay, remember to take notes, find keywords, and do process of elimination if you do not find the answer at the first try. Okay, so in order to practice some more, you can look for, actually, if you just research in Google, or you can just go to YouTube and put TOEFL full listening section. You will find. I usually use these two channels, Learn TOEFL with Daniel and Jason TOEFL class. I like them. They have like almost zero talk. They go straight to the answers. If you have access to an official practice test set, also do them. My advice for you is practice each individual section first, like do all your practice for reading, then do your practice for listening separately, then your practice for speaking, then your practice for writing, and then just start and do full tests. Okay, like do full tests. Remember, this is mostly about practice, and it's about getting a good score in an exam. It's not about your English. Okay, it's not. This is not going to help you better understand English in general. Okay, it may. I didn't. I shouldn't have said not, but the goal is not to help you understand English in a better situation. Your goal here is to have a good score in the TOEFL. Remember, you can check my website. Remember to subscribe, to like, and to share to whomever you find may need this or may have a good use for it. And that's it. See you in the next section. We're gonna cover the speaking section next. Okay, bye.